with all the
What do you remember about them, Esther?
The picnics, we used to go in horse and cart.
Oh,
That I remember.
Yeah.
did it take long to get from, you were in Elwood at that point?
I don't remember where we were living there.
Yeah, okay.
How long did it take you to get to the beach in a horse and cart?
A long time.
But you lived...
And then when you got there, what did you do?
I think we must have all had a little swim.
Do you remember the bathers that you used to wear? That the men used to wear? Sort of neck to knees?
Oh, yes.
And what did they look
and
like?
And the ladies.
And the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh.
And what sort of bathers did you wear?
The same.
Neck to knees.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy being on the road?
Yes, it wasn't what it is now. There were no idiots or drunks or drugs or anything like that.
And we could pull up and camp anywhere, and there was nobody worried, and you weren't worried about being robbed or anything.
We camped one year, I remember. It was getting late. This is when the girls were with me in a caravan. And I said, well, look, we better go in here. It's getting dark and late. And it was dark. And we didn't know where we were. We were in a cemetery.
Oh,
Do you remember that
I
one?
do remember, because Dad always said you never know where we might wake up. It might be somewhere wonderful.
And it was
It's an adventure.
cemetery.
Oh.
They didn't worry us.
And then he had a very good philosophy about, and I do it now with my children and my grandchildren, I tell them the same thing. When we got lost, remember what he used to say?
No.
He'd say, oh, it doesn't matter, it's just an adventure. Who knows where we'll turn up?
I went out with them.
you do.
So what were you saying about what holidays did you take when you were married, Esther?
You want to know how I met my husband?
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah, terrific.
Well, then there used to be Jewish holiday, Jewish dance every Sunday night,
Right.
and this particular one I was in, it was what sort of a dance was it?
Tap dance.
A tap dance.
Ah!
And evidently, if you just got tapped on the shoulder, they had to exchange partners.
Wasn't the tap dance with your feet tapping?
No, they just tapped your
Okay, all right.
well, actually, they tapped the man, so he had to go.
Okay.
And so, and that began the romance.
How lovely.
And how long
That
were you
is
married?
romantic.
How long were you married?
Oh, God, 55 years. When we were married, we went to many places, especially school holidays.
Yeah.
We had a caravan and went here, there, and everywhere.
And do you remember when we woke up in the morning that we saw out in the way out in the sea?
No?
Whales. Dad said, we're lucky we'll see whales. And sure enough, we woke up, this beautiful, beautiful blue sea just beneath us under the cliff, and there were the whales. But the whale station wasn't so nice. Do you remember that?
No.
It stank to high heaven.
And how did you eat on the trip? Did you have barbecue? Did you stop at places? How did you feed the family?
I think we must have bought things and cooked them there. I don't remember.
We never went out for meals, and Mum was a very, very good camper. We did a lot of camping as well. She was a very good camper. Dad, remember what Dad? Remember how he made the because there was a little stove in the
in the caravan.
And Ruth and I slept in bunks. But do you remember the barbecue that Dad made of his own thinking?
No.
Remember the kerosene tin?
Yes.
Tell the ladies about that.
Yes, and he made it into a barbecue and grilled the chops on the top.
And everything else. Was it one of these, was it 40 gallon? I don't know what it is, but an old
kerosene
tin was about that big, and he'd cut a hole down the bottom to let the draft, and then he'd make his own. He did some wrought iron stuff. during the war. He worked on aircraft or something,
Yes.
and he was pulled out of school because his dad had a heart attack and had to run the family business. So
When he was about 16.
and he'd spent 4 years in bed because of a congenital hip deformity. So he didn't have a lot of formal education, but he was really thought outside the square. But he made this sort of a grill thing that put on top, and we had the best barbecues. He put the potatoes in the remember in the ashes in the bottom wrapped in foil, and the fish. He cooked the fish there and the toast. But mostly we
Over the toast, yeah.
But mostly you cooked a bit in the caravan. But tell them about the other holidays we had. We had 3 different sorts of holidays with our school holidays. They were wonderful. One was the camping trip, one school holidays. The other school holidays, Dad gave you a break. And what did we do?
Can't remember.
Remember we went to the guest houses?
We
Marysville and
Oh, that,
places like that?
Oh, after? Oh, yes. There was no more caravan.
No.
Tell us about
was
Marysville.
it was at the place
Sherbrooke.
which burnt down.
Yeah, there was Sherbrooke we went, and Marysville, and each year we'd do a camping trip, and then Dad say, our mum needs a break, we'll have a guest house holiday, and then the long summer holidays, and every weekend, which was where we're both keeping the skin specialist in business, was they were given the family holiday house in Edithvale, but Mum said, I don't want that big house and garden, we'll have the garage, thank you, where they used to keep the horse and carts, and Dad made it into kind of a bungalow thing. We had the boat shed and boat, so we spent our entire summer down the beach from breakfast till sunset, didn't we?
Yes.
Wow.
And it's still a holiday house.
Still going strong.
That's fabulous.
So did you like going to the beach?
Oh, we had the boat shed, which
Yeah.
was very convenient to sit on the beach and watch.
Yeah.
It's just sit in the boat shed if it was too hot,
Yeah.
have you a swim and come out.
Yeah. And where did you learn fishing? Where did you pick up your love of fishing?
Fishing, with
Yeah.
my late husband. He enjoyed it.
Because of his hip abnormality, he couldn't do he was a real outdoors man, wasn't he? But he couldn't do the ball, he couldn't run, and so he took to the water. But they spent their life, we all spent our life on Port Phillip Bay, and then the various rivers and oceans around, up the east coast.
Fishermen.
For example.
We camped on the river, or whatever.
Yeah, it was the Murray.
It was the Murray, and it came. Oh, and when we arrived there, somebody had left all their gear for fishing, which was very convenient for us. So he fixed it all up, threw it in the water to catch a Murray cod. Well, when it started to rain like cats and dogs, and we had to leave it and come back. And we came back in the morning, and he says, geez, first thing he went was to see if he caught anything.
Oh, it was a set line, wasn't it?
Yes, it was a set line.
That's right, I'd
All the
forgotten.
gear was there for it. And, he says, I think I've got a horse on the reel. We brought it up. It was a Murray cod,
46 pounds.
46
Sure.
pound.
This
A
big.
huge.
No, we've got photos. This big, they could barely carry it. And then how was it cut up?
No, it was put into a butcher's refrigerator in Towall. He obliged us, and when we came back, it was still frozen.
Yeah.
And we got my late husband's brother was a doctor, and we invited him to come over and come and do something with the fish.
He operated.
And he operated on the fish, he cut it all up, and of course the whole family got,
And all the neighbours and all the cousins and everybody we knew.
yeah,
All their freezers were full.
that was, and nowadays I don't think you're allowed to take them out of the sea.
You're probably not allowed to have set lines either.
Oh no, you wouldn't have
And what about
Why do you love the beach so much, Esther?
Oh, don't know. I wasn't used to it before I met my husband. And I remember him when he bought a boat, and he used to fish in it, and I wouldn't go in it. And he says, "Look, come in this day. It's flat, very flat and calm. And when you stop and you want to come in, I'll stop and come and take you in." Well, it was such a perfect day. That was the beginning. I didn't want to go in.
Oh. And did he teach you to swim, or did you teach yourself?
No, I got taught at the high school.
Oh, okay. And then Mum used to drive the boat when Dad water skied.
Oh, wow.
And but Mum only learned to drive when you about your mid-20s?
Yes.
But then she was driving a speedboat all around Port Phillip Bay well into her late 70s.
And now you've got to have licences and...
You mean you drove a speedboat around Port Phillip Bay without a licence?
But you didn't have to have one then?
No, you didn't have to have licences
No,
or
Dad wouldn't
anything
break
in
the law.
those days.
Dad was not a lawbreaker, was he?
He was what?
Not a lawbreaker. He'd been...
Oh, no, I was people.
Yeah, and Mum was a very, very good pennant bowler. Till, how old were you, Mum, when you stopped bowling?
Oh, well, I've been an outdoor person all my life. I started when I was in a teenage, playing basketball, and then I switched to tennis, and then where did I go after tennis?
Bowls.
Oh, yeah?
Bowls.
There's more between there. But anyway, I couldn't see I played tennis till I was in the 80s, and I couldn't see the ball quick enough to return it. So one of the girls was a bowler also. They said, "Why don't you come and play bowls and give it a trial?" So, which I did, which I enjoyed very much. I played bowls until I was 98. Yeah, 98 I played bowls. And when I was 92, I bought a new car, and they said, "Oh, we've never sold a car to a 92-year-old."
What?
I read in the article that you said the secret is just to keep going.
That's right.
And forget your age.
And forget your age.
And how do you deal with all the ups and downs in life and all the stress and all the worry and...
Oh, you try not to think about them.
She's pretty good at that. She's been through quite a few things, and she's very sensible. Very, very sensible. Common sense.
What do you remember about them, Esther?
The picnics, we used to go in horse and cart.
Oh,
That I remember.
Yeah.
did it take long to get from... You were in Elwood at that point?
I don't remember where we were living there.
Yeah, okay.
How long did it take you to get to the beach in a horse and cart?
A long time.
But you lived...
And then when you got there, what did you do?
I think we must have all had a little swim.
Do you remember the bathers that you used to wear? That the men used to wear? Sort of neck to knees?
Oh, yes.
And what did they look
and
like?
And the ladies.
And the ladies. Gosh.
And what sort of bathers did you wear?
The same.
Neck to knees.